Hello, it's me, Dee, and welcome to Lunar Blessings. Well, I was slowing down, taking a break during the holidays, so that was one reason why there's been so much fewer videos. But I had a bunch set up for this week, and it did not seem appropriate, and I really was focusing with my family during these riots and the attempted coup. It was and so I was there with my kids, and we are homeschooling, and I thought this was history. And what they were seeing, they were learning more about our U.S. government and what the difference between protesting and domestic terrorism is. And so I hope you all out there are doing better, are well. 2021 isn't going to be like, oh yay, we're done with 2020. No, 2021 is cleaning up the mess from 2020, and I think that's something that we're going to see. There's growing pains. I think last year everyone was like, we're not going to, last year was like a big, huge reset button hit. And it was you guys need to get your together and for humanity, and for our earth. And I really see that this is a time, we were forced into making changes when the, as I said, reset, but it was like, bam, you have to change now. You can't just keep making excuses or ignoring things. And yeah, so this is going to be a time of implementation of changes and being stretched. Our faith is going to be tested. But with that, I am kind of excited because it's going to get dark, but coming out of it, it's going to be for the better for people. We're going to see things that we didn't realize were important to us, but they are. And our focus is changing. And this is not just for America. This is a worldwide. It's like we're getting told enough is enough. And if you aren't willing to make the changes yourself, you're going to have to. And we're going to make it. And if you had done it your way, it probably wouldn't be so painful, because this way to force it is painful at times. And the exposed wounds and pride and ego, our ego is having to learn to step back and let our real inner self and beliefs come forward, and not try and our vulnerabilities. The ego masks so much of the pain and our inner struggles, and it also is the person who we really are at heart and inside. And we may not want to always show it and cover, but we're going to have to start, I see like little Jimmy the Cricket, listen to your conscience, let your conscience be your guide. If you watch The Good Place, Eleanor talks about the little voice. No, you shouldn't do that. That's probably not a good idea. These are things I think people are going to start being more aware of. There's going to be more mindfulness and awareness without people realizing that this is what they're doing and who they are becoming, which is a good, it's good to become this way, but it's like an evolution evolving, and those who don't want to go forward, they're being pushed back and they're angry. And that's why I think we saw an assault on the Capitol. They didn't want to accept that they could be wrong, and they didn't want to change. So they were going to try and force everyone else to, or, stop it. And it means I think, racism, it just keeps coming to mind. And it was so blatant because the peaceful protests of Black Lives Matter last year and during the summer, people were gathering to make a stand and let their voice be heard without causing harm. Now, yes, statues were torn down. I have to smile because the Confederate statues need to go. They're not heroes. And the removal of the Confederate flag from states and government is good. It needs to happen. There needs to be an acceptance of white privilege exists, and it cannot be tolerated. We need to humble ourselves and realize how truly horrible racism is. And as I said, during those peaceful protests, they didn't violate laws of and that they weren't going to try and stop electoral count votes to be certified, silencing over 80 million Americans who voted. That's treason, folks. That is the most what they did was very unpatriotic. And we saw the difference in how security is handled when there's growing Black Lives Matter people gathering, and people of color, sorry, my tongue's tied. They gathered and were treated like shit. The imbalance of what happened is so blatant. You have the riot gear and beating people, throwing pepper spray for a photo op in front of a church, and they didn't even want him there. The total lack of disregard of their human lives is disgusting. And you saw that, hey, and they're calling in National Guard, and Trump had his little mini elites out there, and they were just chasing down people who were peacefully protesting. They were instigating violence, and I just, and then they couldn't, because they thought, oh, it's just a bunch of white people and they're just standing for their rights to stop the election. They're going to be peaceful. They're the ones who have never been peaceful. You know, I think of the torches in South Carolina, like, rah, with the tiki marching and the Nazi. Oh my gosh. And the destruction that they do, and then trying to pretend they're Antifa and setting up piles of bricks. The cops were taking photos with the protesters, with the domestic terrorists who were assaulting our Capitol, breaking in, trying to stop a president who was rightfully, legally voted to be our next president. No, we're just gonna sit back, and people died. They were scaling the walls, falling down, getting hurt, pulling an officer in and beating him, and he died. I thought you guys were law and order and were supporting of the police. What? It doesn't make sense to me. And I really am hoping that this is a huge wake-up call. A huge wake-up call. You can't keep looking the other way and placating a sociopathic narcissist who wants to destroy democracy. And I think through all this pain, there is going to be a healing. There can be a very powerful, strong healing of this nation. I really believe this. I just wondered about when President Obama was elected, that was such a powerful moment. And I remember standing in my kitchen and looking over at the TV as he is speaking for the very first time as President-elect Obama. And immediately my joy was crashed, because I realized that in 8 years, because America made such stand and said, here is a black man, and yes, he is qualified for president, and we want him as president. Those who are racist, bigots, they were going to want to undo all the good. I saw that we were going to get a horrible man for a president. And I knew it was going to be dark, and it was going to be scary. And I was like, they're going to come out rebelling because they felt silenced, that their racist fears, they're not real. That's, the threat is not real, but they can't see it. So they're lash out. And I was like, and immediately I said, well, okay, let's just pocket that. I don't want to have to think about that right now. Thank you for showing me this. And can I just be glad that we do have this president right now? that was my mind. And so I see that happen, and now I'm seeing a healing. And with that healing is going to be prosperity, but it's going to be very painful to get to the point where, well, there is partisanship. I think we're going to start seeing the fall of Democrats and Republicans. These parties, they're, you know, I'm talking not this year, but that is starting to happen. And I think years to come, there's going to be more parties rising up and more diversity, which we need. So, yeah, I haven't done my regular videos on either of my channels. And on TikTok, I just posted on Monday and did an oracle card reading and a tarot reading there for the week, which I do every Monday. I will give, and I plan on doing more over there in TikTok, not just a Monday, you know, couple videos. I plan on doing more throughout the week. So you can check me out there. It's Dee Sparta. Some of my other, you know, Twitter and Instagram is Princess X Sparta. The Princess Sparta is a nickname that my wife gave me one night when we were dating. And it's just kind of stuck with me because when she saw that I had Princess Peta, which is a adorable nickname that my cousin and best friend in the whole world, Annie, I love you, woman. She fights for women's rights and productivity, and the ownership of our body. She's a midwife and a doula. She helps everybody. She is in support of making sure proper care to, no matter what your gender is, if you need care for being pregnant, it should be provided to everyone and done well. So yeah, she's vocal, and I love that woman and admire her. And so I know I'm rambling. I needed to get some stuff off my chest. This video was impromptu. I had started to film another video, but all of a sudden I just felt in my spirit just this conviction to speak the words and what I was seeing happening. And I hope I was able to articulate it well. I got to tell you, it was a real, that this video is kind of surprising me. And I'm like, should I even post this? I'm going to do it. I really feel in my spirit, my heart. I do love you. Please subscribe to this channel and follow me here. Follow me on TikTok. Follow me on BNB Network. Follow, you know, and because I want to be more interactive with you and get to know you, each of you who watch this. I've made some connections with a few women and non-binary people that mean a lot to me, and I'm sending gifts to them. I'm getting them all packaged up this week to go out next week, you know, because I get so much extra, I have so much extra makeup, or I want to give tarot cards or altar tools. I want to, you know, I have this stuff. And so I've been doing that, and I want each of those women to know you're important to me. You really are. Those of you who have friended me on my personal Facebook, that you really are super special to me. I just need you to know you women have inspired me to keep doing what I'm doing. Thank you. So, yeah, that's it. I'll see you next time. Bye.